move.
I'd like to give thanks to our Rasul, peace be upon him. Without him, this whole thing would not be possible. All praise is due to him. All praise is due to the membership. And everything that is associated with the membership is most important. I have a subject this morning, and the subject, as I said, it's always prevalent. That is, it relates to something. It deals to something that is happening to us right now, something that has happened in our everyday lives. And one of the things that is happening in our everyday lives is we have some people that are asleep here. That was a joke. That was a joke. He kind of woke his eyes up, but that's all right. That's perfectly all right.
Yeah, I missed it.
We're going to talk this morning about the soul of the race. This is a lesson that we've given before, but there are 2 or 3 different additions to this one particular lesson, and all of them have the same title, entitled The Soul of the Race. It's obvious that our people today are going in an altogether different direction, and they call themselves modern and up to date, when in reality they're doing the same things that were done before. And just like you made mention of the fact, and that is, we are following somebody else's directive, and we're calling this modern and up to date. As a people, we have lost our soul. We've lost our soul. We've given our soul up and adopted the soul of somebody else that is completely alien to us. And he's wondering, why are we acting like this? He's acting this way because his religion, his educational system, and everything basically associated with him is not in harmony with our temperament. That is not in harmony with our temper. So we have to understand, what is our temper? Our temper is mild in manner, helpless of others in distress, speaking words of wisdom, clean in mind and body. That is our mantra. That is what we taught. And that is how we rule the world for more than 50,000 years, on basically that particular mantra. The soul of the race. The soul of man is his conscience. The soul of man is his conscience. The soul of the race is also conscience. This race conscience is lost to us, and we must find it. The realization of self as a race is really, in its natural characteristic, all of one kind, in our conscience and of the same quality, color, material, self-conscious as a race, and self-control and self-respect as a race. All of these things have more or less been pushed to the side, and we act like a heathen people today. And a heathen people is one who cannot feed, clothe, and shelter himself. That is the dictionary's definition of a heathen. One who cannot feed, clothe, and shelter himself is considered a heathen. Because every race, nation, religion, and creed is, in reality, for itself. its full awareness and in its perception lies the power of perceiving and giving birth to things with the mind from the cosmos of the universe. And in that statement, it goes back to one of the things that I have been stressing here lately, and that is the mind. The mind. We have a mind, and we need to use it. We need to use it. You have 144 faculties. You have 144 ways of doing one thing. It's called faculties. But yet still, we'll follow lockstep with somebody else's idea. This movement, and I emphasize the word movement, is in itself something altogether different from anything that has ever been produced up until now. As a result, it has its own identity. It is different. The things thought about are different. The things that are trying to be developed are different in its character. And one of the things that we tried to address was, why is it that we believe so much of what other people tell us? And how long are we going to listen to the things that they are telling us and believe that one day they're going to wake up and realize that we're human beings also and treat us fairly? Brothers and sisters, it hadn't been done up until now. So when does it start? Are we to wait another 400-500 years and then maybe, I say maybe, this person will come to the realization that you are a human being? But what he does is this: he does things in a slow type fashion. We complained about not seeing enough black people on television, in commercials and other things. How are we represented? Notice the televisions now. Every other commercial, it's got a black person somewhere in there. The black person, you see them in the background or doing something. They're trying to tell you, these people are going out of their way to hold on to you. My God. They will go to great lengths to hold on to you. They don't want you to get away from them. If you get away from them, they'll have to go out and find somebody else to put their foot on their neck. Think about that. Therefore, the soul of a race is its clear understanding and its full awareness. And in its perception lies awareness, and in its perception lies the power of perceiving and giving birth to things with the mind from the conscious of the universe, an orderly and harmonious body of message from the brain of creation. Through the senses, by taking in things of value with the mind. There we go with that one word again, the mind. Why are we emphasizing the mind? We're saying the minds of this so-called black man is different from the minds of these other people. In it, it is trying to tell you who you are. It is trying to tell you that you are the fathers of all mankind. That is a distinction, brothers and sisters, that we should not just think about it and cast it to the side. That is a distinction that no one can come along and compete with that. The fathers of all mankind. Let's go down the list of all the people that contribute to this mankind. And you say that you are the fathers of them all. Through the senses, by taking in things of value with the mind, and observing or noticing all activities of other nations and races around us, this is finding the soul of the race. an infinitive. To, T-O, is to the sign of the infinitive. It is unrestricted and unlimited. The realization of a race having a soul is our obligation to make this statement real or concrete, and calls Rasul, As-Salamu wa Salamu, and called the Rasul statement to appear real. The word realization of self is serving the African Americans as a quality of being real and not theoretical or imaginary, but being according to their appearance. The readjustment of the race is now in order. This calls for reasoning with all who will act, for reason is alleged as the ground for determinations adapted to influence the mind in acting upon the principle. Reason is the rational nature of man or the human race. This distinguishes him from the intelligence of a brute, which is an animal without power to reason. A person without reason is a stupid, cruel, coarse, or sensual person. Race unconsciousness is the brute force of nature. In English, and brutus, meaning heavy or dull in French. A race is the continuation of descent from a common parent or stock, which is the condition of belonging to a certain stock or the quality or characteristics of that stock. Race unconsciousness is a group, race, or nation who has no soul. A common parent or persons belonging equally to two or more qualities, which is a large number of relations or character, good or bad. Self-consciousness or self-souled is a race who is made conscious by the thought of other people of the same race and their attitude towards one and another. The soul of the black race is not violent. It is not a violent one and is not characterized by the intensity of any kind. But the white people are a violent race, yet there are good ones among them. They are characterized or marked by unjust exercise of force, severe, while the black people are characterized by mildness in speech and manner, full of goodness and mercy, speaking words of wisdom and understanding, and all they needs is to be left alone. The black people, all they need is to be left alone. And they'll find their way, like that nursery rhyme used to say, leave them alone and they'll come home, wagging their tails behind them. Leave the black people alone and they'll find their consciousness. But when you come along and show them on television things that are not true and confuse them, and they wander around going from skip to cern, you understand why we are in the condition that we are in. All they need is to be left alone, and they will find the soul of his race. Naturally, being the first of creation, he has inborn qualities that has been duped. The black race is the original and became the head of all mankind. Looking back to the soul of the race, we'll be seeing Isis, El, and Amun, and kinsman Ra, made known in the picture or likeness of man. The Honorable Paul Nathaniel Johnson, Assalamu alaikum, has all of them rolled into one, the soul of the race. Salam.
Salam.
Preface to my subject. We are now trying to enter into the science or the study of the science in how to reach the souls of our ancient and noble ancestors, which are all still intact. That's what we're trying to do here. We are trying to teach back to people things that they have forgotten. This whole movement is based around teaching people things, or teaching back to people the things that they have forgotten, things that were told to them or not told to them as being unimportant. How to have health, prosperity, and happiness depends upon how much we understand the spirit of Fahami. The spirit of Fahami is its vital principle, which when submitted to will control man's moral, religious, and emotional nature. There are millions of spirits who are nobles in their states of mind. We made a joke a few minutes ago about there was a spirit here in this building here that caused that picture to move. There are millions of spirits, spirits all around us. The book makes mention of the fact. It says there are spirits, what? With bodies and without? There are. The home of the souls or spirits to be released upon the earth is the blue house of the heavens, which is the aerial city. They go and come at all times, like souls or spirits with bodies. Souls or spirits with bodies, or without them, give power to man. Man, having traits or characteristics of the ethereal, has the nature of the upper air, the aerial heavenly, like air, which is the breath of life. Therefore, man's mind and the universal mind is one of the same. Did you know that? We are existing in the ethereal or upper air. Evolution. The black race, or the hot climate people, evolved, that is, turned over around under the heat of the equatorial sun, which is responsible for their hair color, the torrid zone that belts the earth, the hottest place on earth. And they came up out of the torrid zone and became the fathers of all mankind in the Ancient of Days. Regardless of the color of their skins and grade of their hair, we, the blacks, came into being in the tropical of Cancer, and by nature have great power from the sun. Isis and Amun, being our Adam and Eve, were the first to control that power, and they, by that, became the world's first farmers and champions in the fields of agriculture. They taught the human race how to control that force from the sun. This is what we're trying to teach you here. We're trying to teach you how to control that force from the sun. From their knowledge, or the facts of knowing the knowledge that their victory caused great joy to all mankind, Isis became the original virgin mother of the gods, our Eve, and Amun, our Adam. The word Eve means even, and the word Adam means red. Therefore, Therefore, the red sun is Adam, Amentu, while Eve, being the red moon, became Amenti, the wife of Adam, the red sun. All of this is spoken of in a prophetical sense. You think that it is an individual, that these are people, these are actually people. But in reality, these are not individuals. This is that red sun out there, that red moon out there. But they were given bodies, so to speak, in our mind's eye. And we think that these are actually individuals. The sun setting red, while the moon setting symbolized Adam eating the forbidden fruit. It symbolized Adam eating the forbidden fruit. Thus, Amentu was put out of the garden to toil in tilling the soil to survive from the sweat of his brow, while Amenti suffers pain, is explaining the coming of offsprings in vegetation without the agency or angels of sexuality. By this information coming out of the mouth of the priest in the land of Ham, Mertharte made the earth a virgin. Also, because of the cultivation of all noble herbs, that is, these herbs healed nations because of their inborn value to man. Thus, Mertharte, called Hathor, means mind and memory, became Mother Nature, while Osiris or Amun became Father Nature. This is a divine understanding of the motions of the heavenly forces or bodies which are responsible for replenishing the earth and its inhabitants around the torrid zone, all 7 of them, one way or another. Ir-Rahman, the merciful. Ir-Rahim, the loving. Fahami above all. In the beginning was the ethereal, the cosmic mind, or the brain of creation. Then came things being created and made. The King James Version says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh and dwells among men. In the first creation, there were things out of order. Then the first creation was destroyed because of its imperfections in make. Our noble ancestors knew and understood all things. The hawk-headed Horus, the ram-headed Amun, and Isis, the original virgin, mother of gods. Then the lion-headed Hathor, who invented the loom, plow, cloth, and etc., which represents their first creation, had to be destroyed as human beings. All of our people of this day show signs of the first creation and what they were like. Viola Chisholm, shown she was a snake. Alfred Twinner showed in his first creation that he was an elephant. And there is someone everywhere we go who shows signs of creatures in the first creation. Just a few universal things to give us an idea of ourselves. And as of the voice of Fahami speaks, the black race is not, nor submitting at all when the European speaks to him. The black race is not, nor submitting at all when the European speaks to him. It is the psychology of the sons of Ham. It is our psychology to rebel what he is putting forward to us. It is our psychology that we are using. We're saying that enough is enough. It is time to move on, which is the science of mind, which is the mental nature and behavior of the sons of Ham. What is it that we dance to their tunes? What is it that we dance to their tunes? The race is simply brainwashed. That is, the race in general has been relieved of its natural rights and through applied psychology has been made to forget his ancestors in order to replace what he once knew and understood to be replaced with something different. Yet, these sons of Ham are somewhat disturbed that there is something wrong. The only thing that holds him back is the lacking of what is wrong. The Christian word does not mean good people, but it does mean white people. Then the true Niger is the black white people. It is spoken of Acts 13, chapter, verse 1, 2, and 3. Simeon was sent where he had worked for him. There he met Bar Jesus and the word son of Jesus. This being so, according to the King James Versions, who are they to dispute that statement from the mouth of God's only begotten Son? John chapter 10, verse 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. Here, Yusuf, called Jesus, made people his equal. Verse 35 explains it all. Let us close this subject with this in our minds, that our people are not a violent people. It is the white people who are the violent ones and keep us at each other's throats on one hand and great noises with music on the other. We drink and think we are free to do as we please. Therefore, the race is not conscious of what is really going on. This psychology of the black is a great step in his favor. If the white people would let his soul, mind, and body go free, the carelessness of folly among us is the white man's world. Attraction is the white man's worldly attractions with trickery and colorful lights, which overshadow our conscience at the point that we are completely lost of our self-esteem, which keeps the race from having a favorable opinion of a value in rate as a people. That we can, with this black psychology of our noble ancestors, rate ourselves among other nations and be regarded highly. We thank you. Mr.
Salam, Mr. Akbenne.
Peace be with you.
Salam.